What is up, everybody? Logan coming at you guys with a new video today, and we're going to talk about trading. And I've had a couple 0DTE scalps today. I got about up to $4,500 in trades today, and I can show you guys a couple ideas. And this was one of them, which actually was a 1 DTE, but I treat it like a 0 DTE. And what the pricing allows me to do, got in at a $1.15. We closed these out at 65 to 70 cents on the contracts. I had 90 of them, so it was a nice little scalp just to collect more premium on this move up, because I also think we're getting in towards the top of the move in the short term. Doesn't mean anything in the long term. Those were all placed in a Tasty account today, so I was going to use this for the charting because I like TOS a lot better for charting in general. I just think it looks a lot better. Today was a pretty big EM, and even for tomorrow was 36 from now into tomorrow because the VIX is finally getting crushed. So if I go over to charts here about how I was looking into today to be pretty decently green because we reclaimed 5,000 and held above it. I didn't expect it to be this big though, of course. I didn't think we'd get 1.2%, but we actually could see, I think, like 1.5 by close. I think 50.77 is a really large level. And if you're like, Logan, where are you getting that level? If we zoom in here, right here is the top end of our standard deviation to the upside in this downtrend. So that's one spot here. And then we also could come over here to the 90-day 1 hour because I like this chart quite a bit. That lines up right with our 89-day, which when you flip bearish, right, when you flip to where these long-term on the hourly charts, when the price is finally below the averages for a while, this is generally a big resistance zone. So if we can pop out of that, we'll probably short squeeze all the way to 5,200, right? There's so many shorts in this market at the moment. And for me, that's fine. I'm very neutral. I'm usually pretty contrarian to what's going on. So I liked this flip right here. I thought that was a good spot to get a little bit more bullish, which is really cool, right? Something nice. If you guys have yet to leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. I want to make more videos. I just haven't had the time. I've just been spending more time trading and then other business ideas. The weather's warm again, so I've been outside a lot more, just living it up. So 50.77 to 50.80, I think we'll run into a little resistance there. So I wanted to capture some more premium on this little run. If we go over to my flexible grid, the advanced decline too. I mean, this is always a telltale sign if you're going to keep going higher. The advanced decline all day since this morning, especially starting at only 300, got all the way up to 2,000, which is the institutional level. And I was just accumulating throughout this entire time, right? 2,000 is generally where you open on large green days or all of these red days that we've seen. The internals were getting crushed. Today's been the opposite. This is probably one of the more bullish days I've seen in a long, long while as we go and push towards that 50.77. So I hope you guys aren't getting too beat up today. If you're trying to short the move, we can look at the VIX too. So the VIX actually had a really massive, nasty crossover as well. Look at this, up to 2136 and has yet to find any momentum or steam or anything. We did a nice negative squeeze, fire short, and then that's what the price ended up doing on the VIX. So VIX really needs to break below 15 again for this to be like a really meaningful purchase. Otherwise, I could see it finding some more steam and chopping to head up. But that's not my goal, is to predict. I just look at price. I like to trade where the averages are. So if the if the price is falling on the VIX, we should just assume the market's going to continue to go higher. It's a pretty good assumption to make, when you have these setups, right? And these higher volatility times, you want to be careful of the 0DTEs because even though we use the expected move, you also have to be pretty mindful of like, are the internals bullish? Because volatility works in both ways, right? That's something that you should always be alert about as a trader. And even our volume distribution, I mean, the last 2 days, even three, I guess you could count Friday, has just been massively to the upside. So people are starting to accumulate again, and we know that. I mean, we saw what was it, 9 out of 12 red days in a row. I think that hasn't happened since the 90s, I'm pretty sure. And also 3 red candles in a row. That's been at least 6 months since we've seen that on the weekly charts. So you're looking at two things that were just very irregular. You're going to have some sort of bounce back or some contrarian move there. So nice little move. S&P is probably still, 5,073. So right now I'm pretty cautiously bullish, kind of like I was last week, even back here. We fell another 60, 70 points after I thought that was going to happen, overall. So pretty cool though. I like the movement we're seeing here. And I think if we can, like I said, if we can get through that 50, 80, 50, 77, we'll probably spit our way all the way back to 5120. Then this is that big area to see what the market does. But even ES, I mean, if we look at the futures, we're pretty much there, right? We've come back to our green and blue dash line that we talk about all the time, and these act like magnets, and price found a way to attract itself to them over and over again, and now we're crossing back bullish. So if we can get the little yellow line here to cross back over the green line, right? That's our 89 on this time frame. I don't listen to them as like strict as I do with daily or longer term or even hourly charts. But these do act as magnets, and if we can get back over them, which we haven't been able to do for quite some time, we should see some more bullish momentum pick up. And ES 5150 is probably next in store if we can see some more purchasing and maybe close up 1.5% or higher today. We'll probably just see the market continue upwards. So, there's a lot of shorts. When there's a lot of shorts in the market, because that's what the market makers do, right? Is they just try to price and, hey, here's what we expect to see, here's what we could see. Volatility works both ways. So if you see 80-point down days, you're going to see 80-point up days. The market doesn't just fall in one direction. And also headlines, right? You have the headline, like the market's generally pretty bullish. If you're somebody who trades off the news, which I don't, I just do technicals and level to level price action. But if you're somebody who trades off the news specifically, we actually do well coming out of like war headlines. We actually have a 1 to 2% green boost after some sort of war starts. And I know the whole Iran, the missiles being launched and everything, some people got scared, maybe sold the port. They might have sold the whole port down here, whatever. And since then, it's only recovered. But that's the psychology of the game, right? That's why you have to be very level-headed to play the game of trading and not get cleaned up all the time. And for me, I just set some pretty decent moderate goals every week and I shoot for that. So I do really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this today. Let's look at a couple other pieces. But I like these price levels right now. That's, and even here, I mean, we're back on the hourly, back above all the averages. We've spent so much time underneath and our means back at 5,300 on ES. So I could totally see us going to retest those all-time highs here at some point. And it might not happen for a little bit because we need some time to stabilize. But these last 2 days of purchasing have been pretty meaningful for the market, especially if we can get back over 5150 on the ES. So we're probably 40 points away from a really big deciding factor of where the market's heading. But also, I don't try to predict. I've just been selling the put credit spreads all throughout here, was even selling some back here that I ran into problems with, as well. But of course, that's the nice part about hedging and rolling is you can buy more time, hedge, collect some more credits, and then close out the trade in total. So it's been a nice little, last week for me, and having to deal with all this where everybody's freaking out and the volatility's high. Like trading in a high volatility, you can always just size down or play further out of the money. But man, like you can scalp a quick few, 3, 4, 5, 6 grand in a day, maybe in 2 hours, just because the VIX is so high if you have the right side of the trade. So really nice place to sit and to, you know, find opportunity in the market, which is really cool, I think. I did want to say we do have the Discord down below if you guys would like to join and come trade with us as well. The last few years I've outperformed the S&P. This year's been a little tougher for me with the trades, but overall still doing pretty well. Now, if we come look at the expected move before I end the video, I like to use the expected move to kind of get a good feel on what I should expect. But even like 7 days from now, the EM's 88 points, right? For 7 days out, they expect us to move 88 points up or down from where we are. But you can even have a day like today where you see the entire week's expected move in one day. Now, that's what they're pricing in. It doesn't mean we're going to see that. It's the same thing, very similar to like sports where, a team might be favored to win by 6, and they win by 20 or they lose by 20, right? They set an expected outcome and you can still see that the market's going to find its way either up, down, right, chopped. But overall, like listening to just, hey, do we have positive volume? What are our level to level moves here? That's why I think this is going to head up to like 5150-ish throughout the week. If it stays bullish, right? If we lose like 5080 on the ES, roughly, I think that's our old support. Yeah, right around here. So like 5170, 5080, this will turn back over and begin to make the move down to probably 4900, I would say. But everything's looking a bit more bullish now, just with all the volume coming in. Plus, like the shorts got to get crushed at some point, and that's what a day like today's for, which makes me happy to not have any call credits going, of course. But that's going to be everything for me. I appreciate all the help and support from you guys and all the kind words. But I will see you guys in the next video, and I wish you guys luck through the rest of the week of trading.